Sarah thought her $200 monthly HOA fee was already stretching her budget thin. She'd been living in Maple Ridge community for 3 years, watching every penny after her divorce, carefully managing her finances as a single mom. But nothing could have prepared her for what arrived in her mailbox on that Tuesday morning in March. The letter from her HOA board was simple, direct, and absolutely devastating. Her monthly fee was increasing to $847, effective immediately. That's a 324% increase overnight, turning her manageable $200 payment into a mortgage-sized expense that would force her to choose between her home and her children's future. Sarah isn't alone in this nightmare. Across America, from Florida's hurricane-battered communities to California's wildfire zones, homeowners are opening similar letters that shatter their financial stability in an instant. Insurance companies are hiking premiums by 300%, 400%, even 500%, and HOA boards are passing every penny of those increases directly to residents who have nowhere to run. Families who thought they'd found their forever homes are now facing impossible choices, forced to sell at a loss or drain their children's college funds just to keep a roof over their heads. But what if I told you there's a way to see these devastating increases coming months before they hit? What if you could predict, prepare for, and even challenge these fee explosions before they destroy your budget and your peace of mind? Today, I'm revealing the Insurance Cost Impact Calculator, a powerful tool that's already helped thousands of homeowners like Sarah fight back against unfair HOA fee hikes and win. This isn't just another financial calculator. It's your early warning system and your weapon against insurance companies and HOA boards who think they can blindside you with massive increases. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have the exact knowledge and tools you need to protect your family's financial future and keep your home. Let me take you inside 2 versions of the exact same community, separated by just 12 months. To show you how quickly the American dream can become a financial nightmare. Willowbrook community in suburban Atlanta started 2023 as a thriving neighborhood where 200 families had built their lives. Children rode bikes on tree-lined streets, neighbors gathered for summer barbecues around the community pool, and the monthly HOA fee of $185 felt reasonable for the amenities and maintenance it provided. Parents felt secure, knowing their property values were stable, their kids had friends nearby, and their monthly housing costs were predictable. Life was good, manageable, and filled with the kind of simple pleasures that make homeownership feel like the achievement it's supposed to be. But by December 2024, Willowbrook had become a ghost town of broken dreams and abandoned homes. The average HOA fee had skyrocketed to $623 per month, an increase so sudden and severe that 47 families were forced to sell their homes, often at significant losses, just to escape the crushing monthly burden. The community pool that once echoed with children's laughter now sits empty because the HOA can't afford maintenance after residents started falling behind on payments. Moving trucks became a weekly sight as families who had planned to raise their children in Willowbrook were forced to uproot their lives and find cheaper alternatives. The sense of community that took years to build was destroyed in months by financial pressure no one saw coming. What transformed this thriving neighborhood into a cautionary tale? Hurricane Helena struck the southeast in September 2024, and while Willowbrook suffered minimal physical damage, the insurance aftermath was catastrophic. Their community insurance costs exploded by 400% as carriers either fled the market or demanded massive premium increases to cover future risk. The HOA board, faced with impossible choices and legal obligations to maintain coverage, had no option but to pass these costs directly to homeowners through emergency fee increases. But here's where this story gets even more infuriating and heartbreaking. 3 months after families had already been destroyed by these increases, After children had been forced to change schools and neighbors had scattered to different cities, a resident named Mike Chen made a discovery that changed everything. The insurance company had systematically overcharged their community by $180,000, which breaks down to roughly $900 per household that was collected unnecessarily while families suffered. Mike, a data analyst by profession, created a simple calculator that could have identified this overcharge immediately and saved his neighbors from months of financial devastation. That calculator has now evolved into the tool I'm sharing with you today, and it has already saved homeowners across the country over $2.3 million in unnecessary and unfair HOA fees. Before we dive into the solution that can protect you, you need to understand the true scope of this crisis that's quietly destroying communities across America. The numbers are staggering, and they're getting worse every month. 73% of HOAs experienced insurance increases over 200% in 2024 alone, and that percentage is climbing as insurance companies continue to exit markets or demand astronomical premiums. The average homeowner is now facing HOA fee increases of $312 per month, which translates to nearly $3,800 extra per year that families simply don't have budgeted. Even more alarming, 1 in 4 homeowners are now actively considering selling their homes specifically because of HOA cost increases, creating a housing crisis that goes far beyond what you see reported in the news. Let me introduce you to Jennifer Martinez from Phoenix, whose story perfectly illustrates how quickly this crisis can destroy a family's stability. Jennifer is a registered nurse who bought her 2-bedroom condo in 2019, attracted by the reasonable $150 monthly HOA fee and the promise of a maintenance-free lifestyle that would let her focus on her demanding career and raising her 8-year-old daughter as a single mother. For 4 years, everything worked exactly as promised. Her HOA fee remained stable, the community was well maintained, and Jennifer felt confident in her decision to buy rather than rent. Then in January 2024, she received the letter that changed everything. Her HOA fees were increasing to $890 per month, effective immediately. That's an extra $8,880 per year, money that Jennifer simply didn't have as a single-income household, already stretched thin by childcare costs, student loans, and the basic expenses of raising a child. Jennifer found herself working double shifts at the hospital, spending 16-hour days caring for patients while exhausting herself just to keep her home. She missed her daughter's school plays, birthday parties, and bedtime stories because she was picking up every available shift to make ends meet. The financial pressure was crushing, but the emotional toll was even worse. Jennifer told me, with tears in her eyes, that she felt completely helpless and trapped. She believed she had no choice but to accept whatever her HOA charged her, that questioning the fees would be pointless because surely the board knew what they were doing. Like so many homeowners facing this crisis, Jennifer had been conditioned to believe that HOA fees were non-negotiable facts of life, rather than charges that could and should be scrutinized, challenged, and verified. Jennifer's victory isn't an isolated success story, but part of a growing movement of homeowners who are using the insurance cost impact calculator to fight back against unfair practices and win significant financial victories. Let me share 3 more powerful examples that demonstrate the different ways this calculator can save your community thousands of dollars and protect your family's financial future. The Riverside community in Jacksonville, Florida, consists of 180 townhomes that had been struggling with escalating insurance costs since Hurricane Ian. Their HOA fees had increased from $200 to $480 per month, and residents were told this was simply the new reality of living in a hurricane-prone area. When resident Lisa Chen ran their community's data through the calculator, she discovered something shocking. Their HOA was paying $127,000 annually for flood insurance coverage they didn't actually need. The calculator's risk assessment showed that their elevation and distance from flood zones meant they were in an extremely low-risk category, yet their insurance broker had sold them premium flood coverage typically reserved for waterfront properties. Lisa presented this analysis to her HOA board, and after consulting with an independent insurance expert, they were able to eliminate the unnecessary flood coverage while maintaining all required protections. The result was an immediate savings of $127,000 annually, which translated to roughly $700 per household per year in reduced fees. Mountain View Condos in Colorado Springs represents another type of victory that homeowners can achieve when they have the right information. This community of 95 units had been experiencing steady fee increases for 2 years, with residents being told that insurance market conditions were simply beyond their control. When resident David Park used the calculator to analyze their insurance costs, he discovered that their insurance broker was taking a 23% commission on their annual premium, which was nearly triple the industry standard of 8 to 10%. The calculator's broker analysis feature had flagged this excessive commission as a major red flag, indicating that the community was likely being overcharged specifically to generate higher broker profits. David organized several neighbors to demand a detailed breakdown of all insurance costs and broker fees from their HOA board. Faced with informed residents asking specific questions, the board agreed to seek competitive bids from other brokers. They found comparable coverage with a broker charging standard rates, resulting in annual savings of $89,000 that immediately reduced everyone's monthly fees by $78. But perhaps the most emotionally satisfying success story brings us back to Sarah, the single mother we met at the beginning, whose $847 monthly fee increase had threatened to destroy her family's stability. Sarah's story shows how the calculator can help homeowners fight back, even when they feel completely overwhelmed and powerless. After learning about the calculator, Sarah spent an evening inputting her community's data while her children did homework at the kitchen table. The results were infuriating, but also empowering. Her community's insurance costs were inflated by nearly 60% compared to similar communities, and several red flags indicated potential broker manipulation and unnecessary coverage additions. Sarah didn't have a background in finance or insurance, but the calculator's clear reports gave her the confidence and evidence she needed to take action. Sarah printed the calculator's analysis and attended the next HOA board meeting, where she presented her findings calmly and professionally. She asked specific questions about why their community's insurance costs were so much higher than comparable communities and requested detailed documentation of all coverage decisions. The board initially dismissed her concerns, but Sarah had organized 3 other residents to attend the meeting with similar questions. Faced with informed homeowners who clearly understood the issues, the board agreed to hire an independent insurance consultant to review their coverage. The consultant confirmed Sarah's findings and helped the community restructure their insurance to eliminate unnecessary coverage while maintaining full protection. Sarah's monthly fee dropped from $847 to $341, still higher than her original $200, but manageable enough that she could keep her home and maintain her family's stability. More importantly, Sarah discovered that she wasn't powerless against HOA decisions and that informed homeowners can successfully challenge unfair practices when they have the right tools and information. Now that you understand the power of the insurance cost impact calculator and have seen real families achieve real victories, here's exactly what you need to do right now to protect your own family's financial future. This isn't complicated, but it does require you to take action rather than hoping your HOA fees won't increase or accepting whatever charges they impose. The families I've shared with you succeeded because they stopped being passive victims and became informed advocates for their own financial well-being. Your first step is immediate and simple. Download the calculator using the link in the description below this video. The calculator is completely free because every homeowner deserves access to tools that can protect them from unfair practices. Don't wait for your next fee increase to force you into action when you're already stressed and facing financial pressure. Download it today while you have time to analyze your situation calmly and develop a strategy if problems exist. Next, you'll need to gather your community's financial information, specifically your last 3 HOA financial statements that show insurance costs, coverage details, and any broker fees. Your HOA is legally required to provide these documents to homeowners, though some boards make the process more difficult than it should be. If your HOA gives you trouble accessing these documents, that's actually a red flag that suggests they may have something to hide. Persist in requesting the information because transparency is not only your right, but essential for protecting your financial interests. Once you have your financial documents, input your community's data into the calculator carefully and completely. Don't skip sections or estimate numbers, because the accuracy of your results depends on the quality of the information you provide. The calculator will generate a comprehensive risk assessment report that identifies potential problems and compares your community's costs to similar communities in your area. Pay special attention to any red flags the calculator identifies because these indicate areas where your community may be overpaying or being manipulated by insurance brokers or companies. If the calculator identifies red flags or concerning patterns in your community's insurance costs, don't panic, but don't ignore the problems either. You have several powerful options for addressing these issues. Start by requesting detailed insurance documentation from your HOA board, including broker agreements, coverage comparisons, and justifications for coverage decisions. Ask specific questions about any red flags the calculator identified, and don't accept vague responses about market conditions or industry standards. Your HOA board works for you, not the other way around, and they should be able to explain and justify every dollar they're charging you. Consider organizing with your neighbors to hire an independent insurance consultant who can review your community's coverage and costs without bias toward your current broker or insurance company. This might require a small upfront investment, but it can save your community tens of thousands of dollars annually if problems exist. Use the calculator's report as your foundation for presenting alternatives to your board and demanding changes that benefit homeowners rather than insurance brokers or management companies. Remember, knowledge is power, and this calculator gives you the knowledge you need to protect your biggest investment and your family's financial stability. 6 months ago, Sarah, Jennifer, and thousands of other homeowners across America felt completely powerless against the crushing weight of skyrocketing HOA fees that threatened to destroy everything they had worked so hard to build. They lay awake at night wondering how they would afford next month's payment, whether they would have to uproot their children from schools and neighborhoods they loved, and if the American dream of home ownership had become a financial nightmare they couldn't escape. These weren't people who had made poor financial decisions or bought homes they couldn't afford. These were responsible homeowners who had done everything right, only to be blindsided by insurance-driven fee increases that seemed completely beyond their control. Today, these same families are part of a growing movement of informed homeowners who refuse to be taken advantage of by insurance companies, brokers, and HOA boards, who think they can impose whatever charges they want without explanation or justification. Sarah is back to working normal hours as a nurse, spending evenings with her children instead of picking up double shifts to pay inflated HOA fees. Jennifer has returned to a manageable monthly budget that allows her to save for her daughter's future instead of draining her savings to keep her home. They've learned that homeowners aren't powerless victims, but can be effective advocates for their own financial well-being when they have the right tools and information. The Insurance Cost Impact Calculator isn't just a financial tool or a simple software program. It's your shield against unfair practices that prey on homeowners' assumption that they have no choice but to accept whatever charges are imposed on them. It's your sword for fighting back against insurance companies and brokers who inflate costs because they think no one will question their practices. Most importantly, It's your path to the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're not being taken advantage of and that you have the power to protect your family's financial future. Don't wait for your next HOA fee increase to devastate your budget and force you into crisis mode when you're already stressed and facing impossible financial pressure. The families I've shared with you succeeded because they took action before disaster struck, giving themselves time to analyze their situations and develop effective strategies. Click the link below and download the calculator right now while you can think clearly and plan strategically. It's completely free because every homeowner deserves access to tools that can protect them from unfair practices, and it could save you thousands of dollars that belong in your family's budget, not in the pockets of insurance companies and brokers. Insurance rates are rising every month across the country, and the longer you wait to understand your community's situation, the more vulnerable you become to sudden fee increases that can destroy your financial stability overnight. The difference between families who survive these increases and families who are forced to sell their homes often comes down to preparation and information. You have the opportunity right now to be prepared instead of surprised, to be informed instead of helpless, and to be proactive instead of reactive. Your home represents more than 4 walls and a mortgage payment. It's your family's security and stability, your children's consistency in an uncertain world, and your peace of mind knowing that you have a place that belongs to you. Don't let unfair HOA fees steal your American dream or force you to abandon the life you've built. You have more power than you realize to protect what matters most to you, but only if you choose to use that power. Take control of your situation today. Download the calculator and join the thousands of homeowners who have already discovered that they don't have to be victims of an unfair system. If this video has helped you understand that you have options and power you didn't know existed, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, because I'm here to help you navigate the challenges of homeownership every single week with tools, information, and strategies that put your family's interests first.